And welcome back. We're talking about co-sleeping this morning, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and you can hear the sound of your 3-year-old's footsteps coming down the hall. He comes into your bedroom. Mom, can I come in bed with you? And this is the moment that divides parents. Do you bring them into the bed and go back to sleep, or do you push them back to their bed and wait for them to go to sleep there? So we want to talk about that this morning. And Sherry Mezrah, you are a local author. You have the book, The Baby Sleeps Tonight. And welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. All right, so give us a night in the life of a typical co-sleeper.
Okay, this is what typically happens. Take that 3-year-old that you were just talking about and wakes up in the middle of the night, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, goes into parents' room. Parents have to get up and work in the morning. They've got to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and it's 2 o'clock. And the little boy says, please, I really need to get, I want to get in bed with you. It's that point where the parents say, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. What do I do? And so as a co-sleeping parent, you would take the child into your bed.
Okay.
And then let the child sleep the rest of the night.
All right. And the other side of the coin.
And my recommendation would be is to walk your child back to their room so that they learn how to put themselves back to sleep. That's very important, using tools and techniques that the child can feel safe in their own space.
Let's talk about this really extreme ad, and you and I were talking about it before this, but there was a Milwaukee ad, and you recall,
yes,
it had the picture of the child sleeping next to a butcher knife under the pillow, and it said, co-sleeping is just as dangerous for your child. And what did you think when you saw that?
I think it's just a warning. It is pretty radical. Yes, there are major safety concerns with having an infant sleep in bed with you between, mom and dad. That can be very challenging. There's a risk of SIDS, and I think it's just a warning. I think though sometimes it can go too far. There are choices that we make as parents to sleep or co-sleep, but it's really important that we think about the fact that your child needs to establish their own space right away, and that there is wonderful bonding time and breastfeeding and all that good stuff.
And are you a fan of the Ferber method? Because I remember when I was raising my daughter, all of that theory and science is great, but when you have a child who's crying and you can't get sleep and you need sleep, whether you work or not, it's a tough call to make.
Yeah, well, as far as the Ferber method, it's pretty strong,
Right.
Just saying, let's just cry it out. My philosophy is, let's take a look at all the variables going on. Let's go through a crying checklist. Let's make sure that baby is okay first. Okay, and then let's work in small increments of time to let that child learn how to get back to sleep with tools and techniques, and there's many different things you can do to help your child.
And you say, we talk about, there can be some benefits, and there are drawbacks too, but the bottom line is whatever works for each family, and maybe parents need to get off each other's backs a little about what they choose.
Yes, and I totally agree with you, because it is about choices that we make. However, those choices, parents need to know that there are, consequences to those choices. So if there are challenges later on down the line, then those, parents have to face making those transitions.
We talk about Mayim Bialik, and we have just a little bit more time, but sure. Mayim Bialik, she's been very controversial. She's the former Blossom star. She's come out with her own book, and she talks about co-sleeping with her son, who's 3, and her other son, who is 6 months. And you say what to that?
Okay, I say, you know what, this can be also an impact on the couple. Intimacy is number one. I can't tell you how many clients that I've had who come to me and say, how do we get the child out of our bed? Because you know what? We have to go away on the weekends just to have sex. We have to, go away because it affects the intimacy of a marriage at times. So those are some of the things that you have to kind of consider, I think, when co-sleeping.
All right, Sherry Mezrah, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
We look forward to talking to you. We're going to hear from everyday moms in the next hour, but for now, back to you.